$5 ICT. Who cares? You're learning how to read price. You're trying to remove the influence of the profit or loss, because that doesn't limit the effects on you as a trader. The psychological impact of that win and loss monetarily has much more lasting effects than the short-term affliction that you place on yourself with drawdown, or the mania that comes with doing something right and walk around feeling like you're invincible. Because that moment that you think you got it all figured out, you're very vulnerable. You don't realize it, but you're extremely vulnerable. You know that you just had a windfall victory. And you're going to ignore the fact that you over-leveraged, you broke rules, but you're going to just say, well, I ain't going to bother with that right now because look what I made. And as soon as you share it on social media, that's it. It's done. You're going to keep going back to that post, see how many more people like your post, hitting that dopamine. And when it starts to wane and wear off, and there's more trading hours in a day, what are you going to do? Are you going to look at that win that you got that was really not justified because you took too much leverage in it? You broke every rule, but you want to feel good. Let me tell you something. You know what feels good? Knowing when not to trade and when to trade, and only executing like that and being done. That feels good. That's fucking amazing. That's better than a Saturday night where you made it real, real good. You fill in the blanks when you know what I'm talking about. There's nothing better than being disciplined and knowing what you're doing while you're doing it. Even if you have a losing trade, it feels good because it can't take more from you. You limited how much flesh it can take off of you. There's only so much ass you can lose in this business before you're done. But you have to fight that desire to feel like, okay, that one was great. It felt amazing. I shared it on public social media. Everybody sees it. And I got to do the next one because I'm feeling my high wear off. What are you trading? Think about that. What are you actually trading? Your social media equity curve. And that's what everybody's trying to do right now. Fuck social media. All of you that are listening, God bless you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you and share my life experience. But ultimately, if none of you give a shit about me, I'm not losing sleep. I'm not changing my lifestyle because you like me or love me. It matters not. I'm pouring myself into people that are willing to listen to me. And hopefully I'm protecting some of you from yourselves before we even start this endeavor this year. But invariably, some of you aren't going to be saved. You want the scar tissue. And once you get it, you regret it. It hinders your growth and slows you down. So I'm teaching you in a way where you have all the upside advantages. And I'm trying to minimize all of the carnage that is possible if you just let yourself run wild. There has to be a controlled, structured approach to doing these things, knowing why you should do it, when you shouldn't do it. And you have to know what those thresholds are. And you have to also place them in a limitation in terms of monetary risk. So when you're doing your demo and you're doing the case studies that I'm going to put you in, I'm going to say, okay, in your demo, this is not an invitation for you to take a live trade. But in your demo, I'm going to tell you, all right, we're going to use this fair value gap or this order block, and we're going to aim for this, and we're going to use this stop loss. I want you to feel what it feels like to be in there doing that. With no money, you can't make or lose anything from, nothing's going to leave your account. No money's going to leave. You're not going to miss your bills this month because you did something with real money. And you're not going to add more money to your bank account because you gambled. You're not going to learn effectively if you do it any other way besides what I'm showing you. And I'm asking you just to trust me in that. Just trust me. Because if you learn this skill set, there's no limit to what you can do with it. There's no limit to it. Sky is not the limit. And you can become a high stakes trader if you want. If your risk tolerance allows for that, mine doesn't. I don't have that. And I can respect anybody that does. It's insane. But I can't, as a mentor in good conscience, not beat this over your head. Even when you think you've heard enough of it, you haven't. You have not. Until you can exercise the discipline that's required, you don't know the lesson from it yet. And hearing it's not enough. So, core tenets to high probability trading. Okay, when we walk into this in February, I want you to constantly be referring to everything we're talking about, the frameworks that I'm going to outline, where I think the market's going to go, why it should go there, why it shouldn't do certain things. You want to be revisiting this list of things because these are going to repeat every single day. Number one, you need to know yourself. How are you going to undo yourself? You're going to ruin it. You are. Not these concepts, not Michael Huddleston, not the market, not the stop hunter. You're doing it to yourself. So you have to know yourself and how are you going to ruin your progress? Are you going to be toxic about your observations? Only look for where it was wrong? Or are you going to look at, you know what? I'm glad that this happened the way it did and I didn't take a loss. I've learned from this. Because you don't learn anything from making money. No one's ever learned jack shit making money. The only thing they did was feel like they want to get another hit of that. That's not positive learning. That's encouraging you to do what? Gamble. I'm not a gambler. I can't gamble. I can't risk that because I will beat myself up forever if I do those types of things. Because that's exactly what I did in the beginning as a trader. When I first started trading, I was gambling. That's what I was doing. I was taking a gamble on ignorance. I had no idea what I was doing. I was entering markets that could have absolutely decimated me. And it could have taken more money from me than I could have amassed, even with doing 3 jobs. And I didn't understand that risk. It was oblivious to me. I was the epitome of clueless. That was me. And I'm thankful that I was able to skirt my way through what I was able to endure, and it wasn't worse than it was. So you have to know yourself. How are you going to wreck yourself? Where's your character flaws? And that stuff needs to be understood. And don't hide from it. No. Are you impulsive? If you're impulsive, then you need to start putting in more risk parameters and more boundaries for yourself. And that's a good thing. That's good medicine. As much as it doesn't taste good right now, that's a good thing. Because you want to be here when the moves come, that it's easy. The easy to enter. They just run away from your entry, go right to your targets. That's the days that you want to be here for. But if you blow up, pushing something really hard in markets that are shit, you don't give yourself the opportunity to do it. You're going to fortify your mindset with toxic feelings and experiences when I'm trying to teach you that that's part of this. You're going to lose. You're going to miss trades. It's going to stop you out, and you're going to have to live with that. That's what this lifestyle is. Like you're managing that constantly. Every trade you enter is a losing trade. Every single trade that you enter ever is a losing trade. You have to trade your way out of it. You have to overcome the cost of commissions. If you're trading forex, you got to overcome that dealing spread. And until you close that trade and cover all costs associated with it, it's not a win. So every one of us live a lifestyle of a losing trader, and we have to trade our way out of that deficit that every trade opens up with. And it took a long time for me to understand that. I felt that every trade is a winner. That's what we're told by the books. That's what we hear from ICT videos sometimes. It comes across as a message that, you can't lose. Bullshit. Every one of my videos is laced with this stuff. You're going to lose. You are going to lose. And how you manage losing sets the stage for your ultimate success or failure. Because a losing trade is not failure. That's a tax on participation in the world's greatest fucking business. There's nothing better than this, folks. And you want to give every advantage to you and filter all the bullshit. Because there's no better way to make your own paycheck than this. If you can do it well, manage risk, how much can you make? I don't know. But whatever number you have associated with it, it's probably not high enough. That's the reality of this. You can make far more than you can imagine right now. But you're going to have to incur losing. Can you endure it? Most people can't. They lose their mind over it. They have to have perfection. Or I can't go home with a losing trade. So you have to know yourself. You got to know your market. All the characteristics that you can build up in understanding of what the market likes to do around the opening price at 9:30. What is it like to do on Mondays? What is it like to do on Fridays? How does the market like to behave in certain weeks when there's certain economic calendar events? All those factors, they're all characteristics, so that way you know your market. You can't fully appreciate that if you're trading 28 pairs in forex. Every currency has its own little quirks and little characteristics that it likes to do. And I've done teachings on those, and they're in my YouTube channel, but we're looking at the ES. So the S&P 500 market has certain characteristics that I'm going to share throughout the year. And I'm going to tell you what they are before they happen in the marketplace. That way you can know it's not contrived. It's not form fitting and cherry picked and just said, here, it happened, so therefore I can make it look like I'm smart. No. There's logic that repeats. And you'll see it. You'll handle it yourself. And then you'll come away knowing, wow, yeah, I could be really systematic about what it is I'm doing as a trader. And I won't be swayed by distractions and things that will otherwise undo me and prevent me from finding success. Because this is something that you can be successful in, folks. As much as I like to hammer the realities of what real risk is with this, I honestly believe that you can do this. You can do it. You can absolutely find a way to have a secondary source of income in this, but it isn't always going to be profits every single time you go in. You're going to have periods where you're making some, lose, dig into some drawdown, but you're going to manage it, you're going to mitigate it, and as it's creating, a series of losing trades, it's going to take less from you. And you're not going to be rushed to get back. I got to get back to equity high. You'll get there. You got the whole fucking year to trade. Don't worry about it. That one transaction, that 1 week, that month is not your entire career. But it's going to feel like it is. But my friends on social media, they're going to ask you, show me my FX book. Fuck them. Fuck them. You owe nobody nothing. Nothing. You're trading to make you and your fucking family wealthy. More than you have right now. You define wealth. I'm not going to tell you what my definition of it is. But if you're making money above what you earn right now from whatever means you get income from, that's a source of income. Who the fuck do you owe explanation of what you've done with your trades? Who do you owe that? Fuck these people. They're so entitlement minded. You owe me the fucking broker statements. You owe me a MyFX book. Fuck you. I owe you nothing. But just to rub it in your fucking face, I'm going to call the market every fucking day to the fucking infinite detail. Stick that up your ass. That's how you handle those jokers. Fuck them. If they're so worried about what you're doing, they're not satisfied with their own results. Because let me tell you something. I'm walking on fucking sunshine. I don't give a shit who's doing what. I don't give a flying fuck who's doing what. I don't care. That's the mindset you have. That's what you adopt. Fuck everybody else. There ain't nothing wrong with that mindset. You're minding your own business. They're not going to fucking run your business better for you if you share your results. And again, I guarantee you, whoever you share those results with, some fucking joker, some fucking clown is going to say, I was expecting you to do more than that. Fuck off. Go back to fucking work on Monday, Dunkin' Donuts. Get the fuck out of here. So stop inviting these people into your development and letting them pour shit all over you in the beginning. You're going to be worrying about dumb shit if you invite other people's opinion. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. They don't matter. They're nobody in your development. Nobody. The same people you're trying to influence or get acceptance from on social media right now, 5 years from now, when you're doing whatever the fuck you want to do, wherever the fuck you want to do it, you think you're going to remember these fucking clowns? Nope. Nope. But they're going to fucking remember you because they're going to see you, if you make it public, where you've gone. So if that's what you want to do, wait till you arrive. Stop bringing people into your fucking conversation and your development early stages because you're vulnerable. You're easily influenced. You're so influenced by, well, social media is very powerful. It's very effective. Think about it. You're here listening to me. Have you ever seen me sit on a live stream and trade live right in front of you? No. So how'd you get here? Word of mouth. Then you showed up. Then you studied a little bit and you see some things. And then you started watching me on Twitter. And then all of a sudden, this guy is calling every minor fluctuation in the marketplace extremely precisely. Well, yep, that's I'm that same guy that's been saying that I could have been doing this all of mine. And I don't give a fuck who wants me to do what. I don't care. What affects me is when a student spends time with me and they fail themselves and they say my life's work is a fraud. When I know if they just would have pressed further and got through that threshold, that pain barrier of not seeing what you were hoping to see by the time limits that you placed on it, press into that. Whenever you have adversity in this, you need to dig your fucking heels in. I am not leaving. I'm not going to motherfucking place. This is just a speed bump, and this is something that's saying you aren't worthy, and I am fucking worthy. You're worthy. You are fucking destined to do this. You ended up here for that very reason. That's a testament. You're meant to do this. I didn't advertise. I didn't trick you with some fucking advertisement on Facebook or YouTube. I don't run ads. The testimonials are organic. It's real. And that's how you ended up here. So don't cheat yourself out of the opportunity to do this right. Don't fall victim to the bullshit that everybody else falls victim to. And that's knowing your model. Only operate in that. Don't try to tinker with it in the beginning. Stick to the things I'm going to show you. Only operate in that because you will get the foundational experience that's required to start adding on other things. You want to build an addition to your home? Well, you have to have a foundation before you have a home, right? And that's what this whole tape reading thing is. It's not about putting you in winning trades. It's about reading price, knowing yourself. How are you feeling about price? You're going to hear me ask that when I'm doing online sessions. I'm saying, this is where I think the market's going to go, and the market's going to gyrate around a little bit. Sometimes I'm going to put you in positions mentally, not in your demo, not in your live account, but I want you to feel what it feels like. I'm going to be doing certain things that retail traders are going to be trying to do. And I want you to feel and then record it in a tweet to me while I'm doing the live sessions on YouTube. Tell me what your sentiment is. Don't be afraid to say it. I'm not judging you. And if anybody says anything about it, fuck them. Because I want you to feel what you will feel in the beginning stages versus how you feel at the end of the year. It's going to be a totally different paradigm shift that you're going to be able to relate to. Oh, wow, I don't even think like that anymore. But unless you press into that uncomfortable state of revealing it to yourself, namely, handling that experience, you won't overcome that anxiety. And that's how you do it. You press into it and see that it can't hurt you. Why? Because you're not risking any money. You have all the upside advantages. Learning how to do this correctly and not have any adverse results of doing it and losing money. Because even if you lost $10 on something I call live, that's toxic. It feels like, oh shit, all the rumors are true.